Many people associate the darkness in winter with something bad, but without it there would be no spring or summer, as the seeds for the next cycle are sown in this darkness. Yule is a time of deep reflection. In silence, we can now see things as they really are without the distractions of summer, without the abundance in nature, in colors, smells, and sounds. When we can't rely on our physical senses anymore, we are forced to turn inward and develop our other senses, our intuition, our inner knowing, and our connection to the spiritual world. And this is exactly what nature reflects to us at this time of the year. The leaves do not obscure our view, and instead we are allowed to see through the trees. So this year I decided to make the theme of my Yule celebrations, listen to the silence of the darkness. The fear of the darkness in winter is probably a reflection of the fear of the unknown. We can't see where our path is taking us and are reliant on our other senses. Now is the time to feel and listen. So Yule really is the perfect time to connect with your clairvoyant senses and other guides, such as dreams and your intuition. I have been doing dream work and keeping a dream journal for a long time now. And I feel like that your dreams become even more relevant in December as we are approaching the 12 nights, which are starting on the 25th of December. So I have been doing the dream work, or what I love to call it, the dream magic, and keeping a dream journal by my bed for a very long time now. And I think if you have not already been doing dream magic, then now is the perfect time, because we are approaching the 12 nights. The rough nights is what they are also called in English. And this is when your dreams get even more relevant. So basically what the 12 nights or the rough nights are, these 12 nights and the dreams you have during these nights give you a glimpse into the upcoming months, into the upcoming year. So basically from the 25th of December until the 5th of January, the dreams you have give you a glimpse into the upcoming 2025. So now really is the perfect time to start working with your dreams. And honestly, I love all the Yule celebrations, like doing the rituals, doing the witchy crafts and things like that. But I think what is much more important is to really take this time to take a look into your inside world, to really take a look into the silence, into the darkness. And if you think about it, dreams to me are like basically happening in silence and in darkness because they happen while you are sleeping. So I think not a lot of people talk about that, but I think the one practice that I would recommend if you are comfortable doing so during this time of the year is really start working with your dreams. Now, you saw me doing it earlier, but what I do is whenever I wake up and right after waking up, I grab my journal, and usually I do this in my bed, but I write down my dreams. And in the beginning, this could be only a feeling that you remember, maybe a symbol, maybe a sound or a color. It doesn't really matter. Just start writing down your dreams and everything you remember every single day. And what I like to do is kind of highlight any reoccurring symbols or colors or like feelings in my dreams, and then I basically have a pattern that I can take a look at later on and see what my subconscious mind may try to tell me. And what I found is that my subconsciousness loves to talk in animals. So you know this book by now. It is the Spirit Animals, or the Pocket Guide to Spirit Animals by Dr. Stephen Farmer. And I research the animals that show up in my dreams. I'm a shamanic practitioner, so I feel like this is something that really resonates with me, that really means a lot to me if I see animals, because I kind of connect different strengths or I don't know, like feelings to animals that probably are delivered in my dreams. So this is basically what I'm doing. And don't worry, you will remember your dreams more and more as you go on. But again, we will talk about this in next week's video to a more extent. But I just wanted to include it here so you can maybe already, if you are into it, start to practice for the 12 nights. And yeah, now I want to make some witchy crafts. I want to craft with dried oranges, and yeah, we have to prepare them. And then I will just see what I want to do for my Yule celebrations this year, because I'm trying to slow down, and this week is just like putting stones into my path that is really showing me like, all right, you need to slow down. But yeah, for first, let's cut oranges, and then let's see what else we are doing together. So, yeah. So, I didn't have a big bucket list for this year's Yule because it was just a really stressful time over the past few weeks, but I wanted to make some decoration with dried oranges. This is something that I really love to do because it is so simple and easy, and I just love the smell and the color of oranges because they really remind me of little suns. So to me, they are the bringer of light. They are kind of my reminder that the sun and the more lighter, the brighter days are around the corner. But the orange garland is something that I already did last year, and you probably already saw them a million times here on YouTube. So I wanted to make a more individual decoration for my home. So I decided to make a full moon out of dried oranges that would be perfect as a little light source in my window for the darker evenings. The first thing I did is I wrapped a embroidery frame in wire so I could glue my dried oranges on top of it, and this is what I'm doing right here. There is probably a prettier way and a more easy way, but this is what I had in my home. So yeah, this is just what I was using. And then I simply glued my dried oranges on top. I used the ones that were not looking that pretty down, so they would be the base of my full moon. And I saved the prettier oranges for the top of my full moon. So crafting with my hot glue gun is one of my most favorite things to do because you really don't have to think about what you are doing. You can just do whatever you want, and I truly believe that the messier it looks, the more fun it is. And when you dry oranges, they have this beautiful shine to them. They look like orange paper, like thin orange paper. So that makes them beautiful to work with them if you want to create a decoration for a window. And after I glued my oranges on top of the embroidery frame, I simply put my fairy lights behind the oranges into the wire. And as I said, there is probably a prettier way to do that, but I really love it, and it really is a cozy little light source when I read a book in my evening, and you can really see the light from the fairy lights shining through the oranges. So I think it looks really, really cute. Next time I'm definitely going to make a moon face. And then it was already evening, so I decided to make my last ritual for the day. And this year, while I was out on an adventure, I found a pine cone. If you remember it, it was in one of my last videos. And while I was picking it up, I already knew that I was going to work with the pine cone in my Yule fire ritual this year. Fire rituals are such an important part of the Sabbats, as they reflect transformation, renewal, and purification. So they are a way of honoring the sun and therefore life force, while also providing protection and blessings. So I decided to make a pinecone fire ritual. When you extract something in shamanism, you send it to a place where it can be given a new purpose. And I wanted to use this intention in a slightly different form for my pinecone ritual. My wishes were to be carried by the wind in the form of smoke, so they could whisper to wherever the next step was hidden, so they would come true. A certain person, a certain place. My part then was to wait for the echo of this whisper and listen closely so I would hear it. I prepared my papers with my wishes written down that I placed inside the pine cone. And I also put herbs inside of my cauldron that I was not able to use throughout this year, and I love to make a fire with the herbs because they add so much magic to my rituals. I then burned the pine cone together with these herbs in my cauldron and watched as the smoke carried my intentions up into the sky. As I watched the pine cone burn, I visualized my wishes being transformed and scattered like seeds, ready to take root and manifest in the new year. Alright, magical one, so I really hope that this video reminds you that the darkness that we are now experiencing in this time of the year in winter is nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to fear, but rather it is really the perfect time to take a look at your inner world. It's a perfect time now for introspection and your inner growth, for slowing down and really finding comfort in the silence, finding comfort in the darkness. And just like the seeds of the plants that are now currently resting in the dark earth, and if you think about it, waiting for the perfect timing to show themselves to the world next year in spring and to grow into these beautiful colorful flowers and trees and other plants. And just like these seeds, we too can now use the time and plant the seeds of our intentions for the next year. And also what I learned throughout this year, especially now that I'm trying to embrace the silence and the darkness and the slow living, is really that if we let go of control, it's really then that magic can happen. I love control. I love to be in control of my life and of basically everything, every single aspect of my life. But I really realized that if I just let go, if I surrender, if I trust the process, and I know it's always easier said than done, but it is then that I open a space where the magic can happen, and things that I never thought could show up, or I never even considered past that would show up, really can show up in my life. So this is something that I learned especially in 2024, and I'm definitely going to embrace the unknown more in 2025, letting go of the need to control and just opening myself up to infinite possibilities. So this is what I'm trying to embrace this Yule, with everything that I'm doing, with my rituals and my spells and my dream work and my journaling, really listening to the inner world, to the silence, to the darkness, and see what is awaiting me there. But just a quick disclaimer, only do this kind of work, or only go into the silence if you are comfortable doing so. If not, then as always, please consider getting a professional for helping you, maybe going through all of this, because I always want you to be safe. And with that being said, whether you are doing the pinecone fire ritual, whether you are crafting the beautiful dried orange ornaments, or whether you're doing the dream work, I really hope that you can find meaningful ways to celebrate Yule, to celebrate this time of the year and embrace the energy. And with that being said, we will hang out again next week, and next week is the last video of my Yule Celebrations series, where we will talk about the 12 nights, also known as the rough nights, because these nights are so magical and I want you to be able to utilize this time of the year as well, these 12 nights. So we will hang out again next week. So I really hope you have a good week, and see you then. Bye bye.